All right, so, sorry. Today we are using the equations of our parabolas to figure out our vertex, direction, focus, and directrix. So we're using this to help get these. Now, there are two different types. There are those that open up or down, or the parabolas that open left or right. So we got to figure out what type we have to start with. Here's our first problem. So we have negative 8y equals x squared. Zoom in a little bit more. Okay, so this guy, we look to see where the squared is to figure out what type of equation it is. So the squared is with the x, so it's going to be on the x side. So we're going to ignore this right-hand side for right now because we don't need him. We'll come back to him. We need him eventually. Okay, now, this equation and this guy do not look the same because there's an extra friend in front, this leading number, and we don't want him here. We want to get rid of him. We also want this kind of fraction looking thing by my x. So in order to get rid of this guy that's getting multiplied by my y, we're going to divide each side by negative 8. So now we have y equals negative 1/8 x squared. So this looks a lot similar to that. Now, we don't have these k and h's right here, which is fine. It just means that our vertex is at 0, 0. So this is our h and our k. All right, so now what we're going to do is we need to figure out our p-value. And our p is attached to this fraction. So if you notice right here, this 1/4 times p. So basically, we have 1/4. That's the fraction that's before this x squared. But it's not, but it should be. So we changed it and multiplied my 4 by something so that now it's negative 1/8. So what could we have multiplied 4 by to get 8? Well, 2, but it's negative, so negative 2. So p equals negative 2. Now you have to figure out p in order to figure out the rest. As you can see, we've got a lot of p's there. Okay, the next thing we do is we look at what our p is. So our p, negative 2, is greater, no it's not, it is less than 0. And when p is less than 0, that means that this guy is going to open down. And that makes sense because we have a negative in front of our x squared. So this is a downward opening parabola. And now we can figure out what our focus is. So our focus is our h value, which is 0. And then our k value, which is 0, plus p. So plus negative 2. So that's easy. Oh, guys, forgot that. So we have 0, negative 2 for our focus. And our directrix is y equals our k, which is 0, minus our p value, which is negative 2. That means that our directrix is y equals 2. So now we figured out all the things for this parabola. We know that it opens down. We know that the directrix is at y equals 2. We know the focus is 0, negative 2, and it has a vertex of 0, 0. So that's what we're figuring out for all of our problems. So let's do another one, because these are so awesome. Okay, so we have 12x minus 2 equals y plus 8 squared. Again, this is not the correct form, but the first thing we have to do is match the side that we're going to use. So my y is attached to that x squared, so that means I'm going to be using this side this time. So be really careful because these cute little h and k's, they like to shift. So be careful about that. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is, I keep saying the first thing, but it is. We got to get this 12 over here to be with our y. So in order to remove him, we are going to divide each side by 12. Now we have x minus 2 equals 1/12 y plus 8 squared. Okay, now we have to figure out what our p-value is. So remember, that is 4 times something to give us our fraction of 1/12. Well, 4 times 3 is 12, so there you go, p is equal to 3. Since p is 3 and 3 is greater than 0, that means that our parabola is going to open to the right. Okay, now we're going to figure out the vertex. So our vertex is our h and our k. Again, they switch, so be careful. So in our vertex, we need our h value first, and then we want our k value. The h value is on the left-hand side this time. And again, it's opposite, so opposite of -2 is +2. And our k value is over here. And again, it's opposite, so my k value is +8, so that means that this guy is actually -8. And this is our vertex. And this was our direction. Okay, focus. So our focus also switches a little bit from the left side to the right side of the table. So we have our h value, which is 2, plus our p, which is 3, and then our k, which is -8. 2 and 3 make 5, and then -8. So here's our focus. And our directrix is x equals our h value, which is 2, minus our p, which is 3, so x equals -1. So there are all the things for that guy. Okay, let's do another one. Here we go. So this problem, we have y minus 4 squared equals 28 times x plus 8. Okay, so since my y is squared, we're again going to use the left-hand side of the table, and again, I do not want my 28 on the right. I want him over here with my x, or my y, sorry. So we're going to divide each side by 28. So we have 1/28 times y minus 4 squared equals x plus 8. Okay, so now we figure out our p-value. So remember again, our p is 1/4 times something, and that will give us 1/28. Well, 4 times 7 is 28, so our p is equal to 7. Since our 7 is greater than 0, this guy is going to open to the right. And we have our first answer. Our vertex, remember, is HK. The H is on the left-hand side, so the opposite of -4 is +4, and the K is on the right-hand side, and the opposite of +8 is -8, which is similar to the last problem. Our focus is this guy. So we have our H and our P, and then our K after. 4 and 7 make 11, and then -8. And our directrix is, running out of room, x equals our h, which is 4, minus our p, which is 7, so x equals -3. Okay, one more. Let's do number 4 is 9 y minus 4 equals x minus 1 squared. Again, I do not want my 9 over here. I want to get it by my squared. My x is squared this time, so I'm going to be using this side, the first side, the left-hand side. And he's kind of like in a weird spot, so, oh, sorry. Here, I'll zoom out a little bit. There we go. Okay, I need to put my 9 over here by my squared because that's what my formula says. So we're going to divide each side by 9. So now we have y minus 4 equals 1/9 times x minus 1 squared. Okay, so again, my p-value is 1/4, and 4 times something will give us 1/9. Now this one's a little bit weird, right? Because we're trying to go to 9 and we want to keep it as a fraction. So something we could do is we could figure out what to multiply 4 by and then divide it by a number to give me 9. So I just tried 9 to start with. So 4 times 9 is 36, and 36 divided by 4 is 9. So you can do something like that where you use like a common denominator. So I multiplied by what I wanted to divide by, and then I divided by my opposite number. You could do that. It'll work every time, especially with this. So you could always multiply by this number and then divide by your original if you wanted to do that. So in this guy, we're going to be multiplying by a fraction, because that's what we did here. We times by 9 and divided by 4. So 4 times 9/4 will give us 9. So 9/4 is what we're multiplying by here. And it's a little weird. Super weird. But that's what our P is. So our P equals 9/4. And since 9/4 is bigger than 0, over here that means that our parabola opens up. Okay, we're almost done. Our vertex is, again, it's opposite from what we just did. So it's our HK as well still. So like that part doesn't change, but the position of the HK in the problem does change. So you just have to be careful. So my K is now with my Y over on the left-hand side. Okay, so it's the opposite of -4 is a +4 for K. Oh, it's so confusing. Okay, and then my H is over here with my X, and it's the opposite of -1, so +1. I like going the other way better. So there's my vertex, and then my focus is my H, which is 1, which is why I love labeling this, and then my K is 4 plus my P of 9/4. So in your calculator, you can just add 4 plus 9/4, and you have 25/4. So my focus is at 1, 25/4. And then the directrix is Y equals my K, which is 4, minus my P value, which is 9/4. So again, we can do this in the calculator. 4 minus 9/4. You should use the fractiony boxy button so it keeps your answers as a fraction, which is 7/4 as my directrix. Okay, so now you have some to do on your own. Have fun. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye!